Welcome. We are PRISM, and tonight we're going to talk about disengaging from factionalism, from conflict. As we say in the header, from the battlefield energy that is so prevalent right now in the earth plane that you inhabit. Now, first and foremost, we must say that we don't like the idea of battlefields or battling in general, although we do acknowledge its existence within the context of your human experience. In other words, we don't typically condone the use of such loaded words, words that have semantics that bring your thoughts towards the very conflict they're describing. Having said that, it's a useful word to describe what you're encountering right now as a society. And therefore, we are helping you see the battles around you and transcend them as you want to do from your multidimensional perspective. So you all know what we're talking about. This society that we're in right now, and many others of its kind, all across the world, are completely suffused with conflict. It's not to say that's all there is, but it is such a predominant theme right now. You are being bombarded with energy from collective consciousness, from the people around you, from other influences, from media, from people that seek to sway minds through other techniques. All of this energy, and it feeds on itself. And some sources may be affecting people, others may be affected by a different one, or maybe multiple sources. But the important thing to remember is all of this is an illusion. It's not to say it's not happening in the physical realm, but it is a diversion. It is a manifestation within the context of your 3D world that seeks to bring you off course. Does it seek you out directly? No. Its goal is to create an atmosphere of conflict and to draw as many people into it as possible. But because you're watching this, that means you're on a path towards raising your energy and evolving, becoming the best multidimensional version of yourself as you can. And in order to do that, you must leave the battlefield. What we mean by that is you cannot allow yourself to get drawn into the tribalism, the factionalism, the conflicts that everyone else is feeding upon right now. Now, that's not to say you don't have your beliefs and your preferences. You don't have your point of view about what's happening in your world. We're not saying to relinquish those necessarily. And neither are we saying that you don't literally interact with the world if that's necessary to do in the moment. If you're walking down the street and you see an innocent person being accosted by others and you feel you can help the situation, well, that's a literal battle you may want to get involved in for the sake of that person, for adding extra good energy to a situation and hopefully dispersing negativity in the process, or at least coming to the rescue of someone. What we're talking about is this ongoing attitude in which you must have a defensive posture or even an aggressive posture, perhaps more likely, in regard to the topics of the day, the different organizations and points of view of the day, and anyone who may disagree with you. All of these things must be relinquished if you want to stay on the spiritual path. Of course, the news is a perfect place to start. The headlines that scream, he said this, she said that, this group wants to control that group, this group will do this to the other group. All of that is distraction, it's detail. It is not for you evolving souls to be concerned with. You did not come here to solve the politics of the day. And let's put this in context. There have been battles going on for thousands and thousands of years, and yet has it created any utopia on this planet? Has it enabled people to come together in unity, in harmony, and create an environment in which you can evolve, you singularly and you collectively? No, it hasn't. If anything, it is constantly seeking to distract individuals and groups that want to take the higher path. So consider that these sorts of fights, these tribal fights, factional fights, have been going on for many, many, many thousands of years. And you who seek to evolve have avoided them in the past, as you should. And if you haven't, if you don't remember those past lives, it's time for you to have a deep understanding right now that it's not to your benefit to engage with such activity. You're here to fully concentrate on raising your energy, on being as multidimensional as you can, on exuding universal love, on looking around the world and seeing the ways that it is connected as a totality, seeing the unity wherever you look, seeing the beauty of the creation that you're embedded in, seeing the wondrousness of being alive, the possibility of each moment, the multidimensional possibility in every single moment, the choices you can make in every moment. You need to see those constantly. You need to constantly be the battery of light for others and constantly be reminding yourself to go up and up a rung of the ladder every day towards the best expression of yourself as a multidimensional being. So when you look around and see groups fighting each other, even groups that you may feel kindred with, and say, those people are on the right track, they're fighting for justice, we don't care. We still say it's a detail and a distraction. We're not saying that in your heart you can hold on to justice. You can feel justice is important. And you can say, I believe in justice. But you cannot go on the offensive. You cannot attack those who attack you or attack those who have a different point of view. You can't engage with it verbally or physically or in your mind without taking yourself down from the altitude, if you'd like, where you need to stay in order to evolve. Consider this. If you are truly dedicated to evolving to being a multidimensional being, you can't slip down into the 3D world to fire off some angry emails at people, to yell and scream at people in the supermarket line, to sit with your friends and say, no, those people are awful, aren't they? They're terrible. They're not like us. Oh, they're awful. What I'd like to do to them. And then the next moment you go back up to your rarefied strata, where you are this wonderful love being sending out joy and light. It is not compatible, you see. You must stay up in the higher realm of joy and light and forego the battle. The battle seeks to pull you down to lower energy. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. That's the big thing to remember. If you're in the battle, then you are part of battlefield energy. And it doesn't matter how much you tell yourself, I'm in the right, I have justice on my side. Irrelevant. Irrelevant to the idea and the concept of evolving to a higher plane. As soon as you go to the battle, you have told yourself, I am no longer interested in transcending the limiting thoughts and energies that are holding back the evolution of this planet and my fellow humans and myself. You see? You're now back in the midst of it. As the old sayings go, you can never win a battle by fighting. If you're fighting, that means you are perpetuating the battle. You see? You can't win a battle by doing the same thing that's always been done. You're going to hit me, I'll hit you back. Oh, you hit me back, I'll hit you back. You hit me again, I'll hit you again. Oh, you'll kill me, I'll kill you. And as soon as you get into that pattern, there's no way out of it. You're locked into that dynamic, and that's a very limited dynamic, not simply because of the conflict and the negative energy that is within that, but also because conflict is one thing, but it's also constantly reinforcing the idea of separation, constantly reinforcing the idea of dichotomies clashing, when the opposite is the true reality. You are part of a unity that has constituent parts, but a unity that comes from one singularity. You're all expressing different parts of yourself. Those who you battle with, as the saying goes, are mirrors of you. So, why would you want to perpetuate fighting the self, fighting the idea of oneness? You must transcend it if you want to go on the path of evolution. Therefore, it's extremely important right now in this age to turn off that news, to stop engaging in judgment, in attacking others, in being defensive when attacked. All of these attitudes, all of this posturing brings you into tribal conflict, and it destroys your multidimensional awareness of everything resonating as a giant organic unity. Your planet is a singularity. Your people are a singularity. Indeed, the whole universe is. You need to feel that. You need to express that. You need to send love to that. And anything less than that is a distraction and brings you down from where you need to be. We reiterate themes because you need to feel the energy of what we're saying. You need to remember and to wake up to this idea that you can't participate in a battle and become an enlightened being. It's impossible. Where you want to go, there are no battles. And if you don't believe there's a place where battles don't exist, then you have much more work to do on your evolutionary path. Because if you can't conceive and picture peace and unity and compassion and understanding and joy between all, and everyone's free will being balanced, then you're already locked in a battle of the mind, of the thoughts, and of the beliefs that have been bestowed upon you. And that's another important point. You're inheriting battlefield energy, so you think that is a natural phenomenon, a reality of your existence. You think it is as necessary or as inevitable as the earth, moon, the stars, the water, and the breeze. But it's not. You humans created battlefield energy. It doesn't exist everywhere in the universe. It doesn't even exist in other time periods of your own planet, let alone other kinds of Earths, other parallel Earths, as it were. It exists in this time, and it's a particular phenomenon of this time. And if you want to change this time, if you're someone who wants to bring this Earth to a better reality, to shift it to a higher plane, then you must leave the battling behind. You must be an agent of unity, of compassion, of goodness, of sending loving energy wherever you go. This doesn't mean you're a monk walking down the street. It doesn't mean you can't defend yourself if someone physically attacks you. It doesn't mean that you can't even have certain opinions about what is just and what isn't just. But it means you can't engage with them with others. It means you can't make a habit of it. It means you might even want to look at some of your opinions and practice having a more and more objectified viewpoint. Cultivating a practice of looking at everything around you, including your own beliefs, your own experiences, from a neutral standpoint, as if you are an extraterrestrial, an angel, a higher being looking down upon yourself, your actions and the actions of everyone around you with a neutral eye, as if you're watching a show on television, a documentary about animals in the wild. And you're looking at this experience of people fighting each other and saying, wow, there's a lot of negativity, a lot of division that's been imposed upon each other. You're imposing division, you're imposing conflict upon yourselves, this little species that we're watching. It's too bad this little species, this humanity, couldn't understand that love is the better path, that sending love to the conflict is the best way to react to conflict, and to keep your own mind and energy field clear of all these troubling comments, of all these troubling news items, etc. Remember that what you're reading about in the headlines is not even necessarily true. And you may think you know it's true or not. That's the fake news. This is the real stuff. We assure you that more than you know is fake. We're not trying to rile you up, by the way. We're saying, look at it from a higher perspective. There are all sorts of reasons people are coloring the news, for instance. They're coloring the news, they're coloring what happened because of all sorts of different agendas that are engaged in this battle. And remember, battle doesn't have to be sticks and stones and machine guns. Battle is trying to subvert other people who you feel don't align with you, or to dominate them, or to control them, or perhaps simply looking for a fight because you know no other way to express yourself. It could be a point of view that's antagonistic. It could be a belief. It doesn't have to be pure physical violence or angry words. It's a artificial division that sets itself up as a conflict, particularly one that can't be resolved other than one side convincing, changing, or dominating the other. This is terrible energy. It's been the bane of human existence for thousands of years. You're never going to change this planet until you transcend this energy, we assure you. How would a battle ever stop? When one side crushes the other? Of course not. Your history is filled with one victor crushing the defeated enemy, only for the enemy to rise up even a generation or two later in a different form to seek revenge. You cannot force other people to agree with you. Therefore, you must seek commonality and unity. It must start within yourself. It must be your daily practice. You must embrace it as much as possible, as fully as possible for as much of the day, and you must send out this energy. Even if others don't seem to be receiving it, your job is to send the energy, not worry about who receives it. So, turn off these news channels. You don't need to know these details, we assure you. You don't need to know who's going to win the election, who is trying to destroy your country, who is seeking to take over the world, what virus is coming at you next, what dastardly plan evil people are plotting, who got hurt in another town, who got killed, who was a victim of some terrible tragedy. You don't need to know these things. You can live your life through your intuition, expressing yourself as a light ball and avoiding the battle. If you want to evolve, you must stop battling fully, unconditionally, and cultivate a sense of love. That is the best advice we can give you right now, and it will help your stress. The battle makes everyone see red, and you get drawn into it like that. Oh, I'm just going to check a news story, but I'm not going to get engaged. I know that's a bunch of silliness, but what? He said that, and she said that? Oh, that's crap. Oh, that's silly. Oh, that's so stupid. That's so enraging, and before you know it, you're sucked right into it. Because the energy is a vortex. The energy of battling doesn't care which side you're on. It just wants to keep you in a perpetual battle. You must remember that. Every time you start to flare up, every time you feel indignant or self-righteous or angry, remember you're getting sucked into a whirlpool that's pulling your energy down. Keep your energy high, friends, and remember your destiny is to change this reality. You do it by holding on to the feelings, the thoughts, the imagination of what this earth could become. A place of unity and peace and love and compassion. And that's the energy you need inside your field and your mind and emotions as much as possible every day. Till next time, we love you.